Solo and Soul with Finesse. Solo and Soul with Finesse. Solo and Soul with Finesse. Solo and Soul with Finesse.
Welcome to another edition of Soul on Soul with Finesse. It's your boy Finesse, giving it to you every Sunday the only soulful way I know how, and that's presenting you some of the finest independent soul music artists on the planet, no matter where they are from. I said the planet. So we keep it moving and grooving here. And thank you to everyone that's listening to us worldwide. Got to say what's up to my Italian soul family over in Italy that's listening to us. Even in Iran, to my folks in Iran that somehow sneak in the show and listen to it. I appreciate the love and support. Well, I'm going to need y'all to love and support today because I got a nice one for us today, courtesy of my homeboy Jay Ross, Soul Cravers. What's going on, Jay? Always getting us the dope interviews. The artist he has for us today is none other than Mac Royale, nice independent soul brother who can write and produce. We're going to get to know him better, and I'm going to need y'all to follow him and support him as well. So without any further ado, my man Mac, welcome to Soul on Soul with Finesse. How are you?
Oh, I'm just fine, man. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show today.
No problem. And so, Mac, I want to get into this because I'm reading over your bio. Originally, you were from Las Vegas, and you currently, I guess, or was raised in Memphis, Tennessee. Can you tell us a little bit how soul music from those areas has influenced your sound and your music?
That's a real good question. Finesse. I was raised on the oldies, man. Al Green, Ron Isley, Isaac Hayes, on all those legends. And I would always, try to mimic their sound as a kid growing up and, sit by the radio, and kind of just try to do all their runs and stuff like that. And when I found out that I could actually get kind of close to doing it, that's when I began to notice that I was, fairly decent at this soul music thing. And I just began to fall in love with the art and the craft of soul music as a whole.
Mm-hmm. I hear people talking about, falling in love with soul music. And you mentioned the old school. How much influence does old school music or old school soul play in what you're doing today?
Old school music and old school soul.
Yeah. How much of an influence has it had on you today?
It's a huge influence, man. I mean, first and foremost, soul music to me is not just limited to singing. It's the way you talk. It's the way that you live your life. Soul is the way you speak. It's not just limited to singing, but it's developed my life, man. It has such a great impact on my life. From the way that I deal with people, just from the way I relate to things. But it has a great impact on the way that I just live my life. Period. Yeah.
And so that we continue to pay homage to the old school brothers and sisters that did it. For Mac, yeah. Who was some of them old school soulful influences that have pushed you to the point where you say, you know what, I want to join this rank and do soul music?
Ooh, man. I mean, you like I said previously, you're talking about Al Green. He's a big influence on me. Curtis Mayfield. You got Isaac Hayes, D'Angelo. He's a very, very big influence on me and what I do. Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle. I mean, the list goes on and on, Finesse. But those are just, some of the great influences in musically in my musical career that I've always looked up to, man. And hopefully one day, with a lot of hard work, I can mention them on those greats, man.
Now I want to ask you a couple of questions because in reading your bio, you have an interesting quote, and I want you to break it down for us. I'm going to read the quote, ladies and gentlemen. It says, and this is quoting from Matt, our guest tonight. He said, I feel like when we as men reach a certain age, we've learned the right to slow down and take our time with our lady friends. What do you mean by
Yeah, man, you pulling out all the stops tonight, huh, for this?
that?
Yeah, I mean, basically, man, it's just, when I was living in South Memphis, I grew up in South Memphis, man. And one of my old head partners from South Memphis used to tell me all the time, he said, Mac, if you do it right the first time, then you don't have anything to worry about, trying to come behind yourself, clean up what you done messed up, because if you think about it, um, when we were younger men, we were all over the place, man, trying to, go, I got to go pay this bill. I got to go do this, and he told me the importance of just, savoring the moment with your lady friend, man, cherishing the moment, slowing down, and not just being in such a rush all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Because, it gets, like the old folks used to say, it gets gooder and gooder when you learn how
good.
to take your time, and mature
Gooder
with that
and
thing.
gooder. I can
Yeah,
picture my grandfather saying that right now.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So really, that's
Um,
what I'm talking about for this.
okay. I'm pushing up against a break, but before we do that, like
Cool.
always, my listeners know I always try to give my guests the opportunity to share their website or social media information so that you can gain new followers and folks can follow you and see what you're into. You mind sharing that information with us?
Oh, no problem, man. You can catch me at Mac Royale Facebook.com. Also, Mac Royale Instagram. You can also catch me at the same name on TikTok. You can catch any my old stuff, my Mac Royale first album, Royal Soul Volume 1 at www.bandcamp.com. That's www.bandcamp.com. And my new stuff, you can find that on all platforms. That's Deezer, Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube, you name it. It's everywhere. That's Take My Time, that is.
All right. When we come back, I'm gonna ask Mac a question about love and love songs, and
Uh-oh.
find out name Mac Royale. I just noticed the difference pronunciation and spelling of it, ladies and gentlemen. So we got the Prince with us. You know, you
Oh
heard
my
of
God.
you heard of the Prince over in England. So we
Yeah.
have Mac Royale with us. Say it with me one time. Mac Royale.
Mac Royale. That's right. Yeah. Something like that.
Soul on Soul with Finesse and Mac Royale. So come on back, y'all. Welcome back, Soul on Soul with Finesse. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time I had a dignitary on the show. So I got to show proper respect tonight.
Stop it.
And
Stop.
I need y'all to show proper respect to my guests. Senor Mac Royale is with us in the house tonight. My brother, welcome to Soul on Soul with Finesse.
I don't know who he was talking about, y'all. But this is just Mac Royale from South Memphis. What's up,
So,
everybody?
hey, so Mac, I want to ask you something because you mentioned how you have a love of old school and appreciation for old school artists. About a
Definitely.
few months ago, I had the chance to sit down and talk to Gerald Austin of the Manhattan.
Mm. Oh my God, yes.
And one of the things he said to me was that artists today have stopped talking about love in their music. And
Mm.
for someone like you, when you hear one of our older statesmen say that, how do you feel about that? And do you think it's true?
First of all, I got to pay my homage to Mr. Albright, Mr. Austin, right?
Yep.
I got to pay my homage to him. He is an absolute legend. The Manhattans are like gods in my eyes. Man, just wanted to do that right quick before we get into the answer. But yeah, man, I've noticed that a whole lot lately, Finesse, man. It's something going on with this new quote unquote soul music, with this new batch of music that's out there right now. It's like everybody wants to be tough. That's the vibe that I'm getting from this music. There's no vulnerability in soul music or in music period anymore. Like the Manhattans, they were not afraid to be vulnerable. That's the missing sauce that's in the soul music or the lack thereof now, because it's like everybody wants to be this tough guy, this gangster, and I guess that has its place. But it's like when you're talking about love and love, what I'm saying, between your significant other, you're supposed to be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't afraid to tell the young lady, look, you hurt me bad, baby. So how can we rectify the situation? And just stand there, for a minute and just be naked, if you will, metaphorically speaking, in front of your mate. And I think that's the big difference, what's going on in the music. That's what's missing, because all you hear now is this, who can shoot who and who can be tough. And, even the people who are singing R&B, you never hear the vulnerability in
Mm-hmm.
the love songs. And I think that's what's missing.
All right. One of the things, Mac, is that I noticed that this is not your first go round in the music business. Can you talk a little bit about your past and some of your accomplishments, and why has molded you today to pursue a career as just a solo independent artist?
Oh man, I've done a lot of things, man. I sang in a lot of groups, a lot of choirs. I remember when I was it all started with my mom. My mom used to sing in these quartet groups when I was a kid, like 7 years old. She used to take me to different quartet rehearsals. She would tell me, go over there and sit down, mama, gotta take care of business, and I'd walk in there with my mom. But I would hear these sisters from the back room, brother, just squalling. And I hear these golden voices, and it would just lead me to get up and go, from the kitchen to the living room. And I would just behold these sisters in this room just squalling away. And, I fell in love with with gospel and soul music, like right there on the spot. And it was like, it went from there to, I began to sing with different groups. I sang in a group called Adagio. Um, they did a McDonald's commercial here in the city, and different choirs like Shay Norman and Company, Kevin Davidson and the Voices. And that's where I learned a lot of how to really put on a show, actually, the showmanship of the game, and I fell in love with it, with all aspects of it, man. And I would constantly, and then when I got into Adagio, I learned how to write. My homeboy, Ayuk, Corey Milam, he showed me, the structure of how to structure a verse and how to structure a hook and a vamp and a bridge and all that type of stuff. And I began, my songs, they used to suck at first. I ain't gonna even lie. When I first started, what I'm saying, they weren't that good. But we all have to grow in that area, in our area of passion. So and then I would just just listen to different artists, man, and it just molded me in such a way that I was thirsty and really hungry for this thing. And I always, I would watch the award shows, watch the Grammys and the Soul Train Awards and all that type of stuff. And it just ate away at me like, man, one day, like I said earlier, with hard work, I'm gonna be up there one day. So yeah.
Right. I believe it too. I like your work ethic just from looking over your bio and things like that. So as a music artist, and you've done gospel, you come back and you've done traditional R&B and soul music. But as an artist, what are your thoughts on why we can't hear both R&B and soul music at the same time on the same station, and not just on selected Sundays to hear gospel music?
That's a good question. Finesse, when it comes to me, I don't like to categorize it, I just like to break it down as art. But I think you kind of get into the political game when you start, categorizing the music as like pop, R&B, rock. Music is music to me. If it's funky, as long as it's funky and it moves your butt, hey, I'm with it, man. If it's supposed to be a slow song and if it's talking about, a love between, a man and a woman, then let it be that and let it move you. As long as the music is moving your soul, I don't really like to get into the categories, because I think that's where you get into the politics of the game and, this belongs over here and, that belongs over there. You kind of lose the feeling in all of that, moving around and all that political game, man. I think, if that answers your question or not.
Oh, it did. I like to ask that question from people who sing in both genres
Right.
because as an artist, it feels like every time you want to do something, you're starting over. So if you sing gospel, like, and let's be honest, it's not like gospel people ain't going to see regular concerts. So I don't understand why
Exactly.
we do that. That's all.
Exactly. Man, that's a very good point. Like I got on my not this album right here on volume 2, but on volume 3, I'm gonna actually put a gospel song, on that project because that's my roots. That's my foundation. You know,
Mm.
I have to pay homage to that because that's what got me started. So it's like I don't like to categorize it at all. And it's the music is just the music. If it inspires you, and like I said, if it makes you move, then brother, I say go at it full force.
All right. Now I know earlier I asked you about your soul. Who was it in soul music? But I know you got a different set of gospel singers that
Oh God.
influenced you. Who were some of those?
You got James Moore. Yeah, you got Frank Williams of the Williams brothers. You got, man, John P. Key. Woo! I
Mm.
remember so many nights, man, and days I was standing in front of in my old house, my mom's house. We had this big body shaped mirror, and I was standing in front of that mirror and try to mimic John P. Key, all his albums from Wash Me on down, man.
Mm.
And man, that's one of my biggest mentors. Man, you got of course, Aretha, even though she went over to, the secular side, man, the list goes on and on in gospel, man. I got so many gospel artists that I love, man. Like I said, that's my foundation. Shirley Caesar, yeah,
Mm.
man. Oh man, that's really all I can think of off my head. But man, yeah, man, I love gospel music, man. I was raised on it, man. My mom played gospel music in the house all day, every day,
All
So
right.
yeah, man, I love it dearly.
All right. I like good answer. We are going to take another break here, but when we come back, we're going to get into the new music, his new single that he wants to share with you guys on Soul on Soul with Finesse. So come on back because we got the Prince in the house. Not the real Prince. We got Mac Royale.
Not to be mistaken with the purple one. Not to be mistaken with him. Please don't.
All right, come on back. Soul on Soul with Finesse. Hear ye. Mac Royale is in the building.
Will you stop it, please?
uh, so I want to get into your new song, but before we do that, you had a couple of releases on the way. Can you talk about your prior music and where people can go and listen to it so they can check you out for themselves?
Yeah, you can go check out my Italian Royal Soul Volume 1 album on www.bandcamp.com. Just put in my name, Mac space Royale, in the space bar, and my entire work on that album will come up single by single. Yeah, man.
Mm. Now, what is it about music that keeps you going that even if you only had one person in the audience, you're still going to do what you do?
It's just art, just expressing my art. I love to express myself musically.
Mm.
I say it all the time that even if this business of music were not to pay anything, not one thin dime, then I would still be doing this because I finally found something that I'm attached to that
Mm-hmm.
money is not even a factor, even though, money is a factor in the game. They do pay you in handsomely, they do. But
Mm.
even if they weren't to do that, finesse, I would be doing it. So that's the driving point to me, man. I love it when my producer, shout out 20 Music, he sends me back the mixed and mastered final copy of the song that we're working on. And
Mm.
we got this thing in Memphis called the 240 loop, you know, and at night, when he sends it to me, I put it in my car, man, and I turn my volume all the way up to 20, and I just get on that 240 loop, brother, and just ride for hours, because I get lost in it. You know what I mean? And it's therapeutic for me. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And I just get lost in the music. Like Eminem said, you got to lose yourself, brother.
Right.
So it's just like, yeah, I just get wrapped up in it, man. So it's like, to answer your question, that's the driving point for me. That's the passion, just
Mm.
to be able to express myself musically. I'm big on that. Hmm.
Right. And since you said that we were in COVID for 2.5 years, so people weren't able to go out and really perform and do shows.
Right.
What's gonna be Max Drive in 2023 to not only be seen but heard?
Oh man, I got this funky album, man. That's getting ready to drop next summer. And
Mm.
man, I really want people. It's like this album is like this is about my life's work. And this, every person, every friendship that I've established, every music teacher, everybody, every group choir that I've been in, this is the culminating point right here, this album. And I want people to really experience it, and I want them to really vibe with me on each single. It's like each single is a little baby of mine. You know what I mean? Like Take My Time. This is the first baby, the first child, if you will, from the project. And I just
Mhm.
want people to vibe with me, man. And, we're going to build it, do my rollout to it, videos, and shout out Deborah Brandon, by the way. She does, some of my videos and doc films as well. And I just want people to walk with me down the corridor of soul, you know, and experience each one of these songs, man, and let them get into your spirit, let them get into your heart, man. And yeah, just walk with me, man, and just experience the soul.
I like that. I'm actually going to steal that corridor of soul. I am
Oh
going to
man.
steal that from you. So,
Go
but
ahead, brother. At least you're telling me up front,
at least I'm honest. I'm honest.
Right. I can dig it. I can dig it.
So your latest single is "Take My Time." Let the
That's it.
audience know what that song is about.
Take My Time is just it's a song about intimacy. Like I was saying earlier, us as young men, when we were young, man, we were just trying to conquer the world in a day, and those of you who have aged a little bit know that that's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, the creator gives us days to kind of space it out a little bit, you think, and it's like, you just have to take your time, man, with your lady friend, man. Take your time so that you will leave no stone unturned, get all them crevices, get all of that, take your time with her, man, because she'll appreciate you more. And let me tell you another thing, that light dimmer, for those of you who have light dimmers in your house, that light dimmer is a mother. I'm just going to tell you
Woo!
that right now. See,
Yeah,
that's something these young folks don't know about for this.
yeah, we just don't hit off or on. You dim the lights.
You just dim it just to your liking, then get that Chardonnay out of that freezer and let the magic happen, Jack. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So that song is just about, it's an ode to just taking your time, maturity, and growth, man, with your significant other, man. Because like I said, learning how to cherish the moment and savor the moment, man, it makes all the difference in the world. You do.
All right. And so what we're going to do, Mac, we're going to allow you the opportunity to introduce the song, and then we're going to drop it here on Soul on Soul with Finesse.
Sounds good. Y'all, Take My Time. That's my new single. My name is Mac Royale. I'm a new artist out of Memphis, Tennessee. Go and get that single. You will not be disappointed. It's on all major platforms right now. Take My Time. God bless you all.
All right, here it is. Soul on Soul with Finesse. We'll be right back.
See, I don't speak Russian, so we're just gonna glide on into it. You dig?
Well, the prince has spoken. Mac Royale, ladies and gentlemen. He has spoken.
Prince.
Make sure you go pick up that Mac Royale wine, that Mac Royale cupcake. He gonna have a whole line of Mac Royale-ness going on
Cupcake.
here.
I don't. God knows I don't need no cupcakes for this. Because one will turn into two, and two will be low.
Oh man, but that's really classy song. I like that song, man. I wish you nothing but the best. And you family from overseas in England. You come over to bless us with your presence and give me knighthood. So I appreciate you, and you're always welcome on the show, man. Always welcome. And I'm looking for you when you drop that album now.
Oh, definitely, brother. I'm gonna shoot it to you overnight express. Definitely. I'm gonna get it to you, brother.
All right, we're gonna make it hot now. We're gonna make it hot, all right?
For sure, man. Hold me to that too. Hold me to that.
I definitely will. Well, you know how we do. We keep you soul connected. That's gonna do it for this edition of Soul on Soul with Finesse. My very special guest, Mac Royale. Make sure you go follow him on all social media platforms. And one other thing. I always say this, and I don't get endorsements from Tidal. That doesn't mean that they want an endorsement. I'm going to deny it. But I tell people this because Tidal really cares about the music artists and make sure that they get a higher percentage of the money, more so than any other platform. If I'm lying, I'm flying. And I ain't flying. So make sure you go listen on Tidal Music. Make sure you check that out. You know how we do. Same soul time, same soul channel. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms. Soul on Soul with Finesse, and that's with a PH. Come on, say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. Of course it's spelled with a PH, because Finesse is the professor of soul. So until the next time, I'm out.
I'll be damned.
Peace.
That was cool, big time right there, brother. All right, now, y'all be cool.
Soul on Soul with Finesse. 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 This has been another Soul Media production.